just completed its first pass of the afternoon. And here's a look at it.
All right, now you see Molaski right here for first time all afternoon, too. He took a straight drop back pass. He may do that a little bit more. Nice pass to Kritzmer. Greenwood gets him in position.
Back to live action. It is 4th down and 3. The Bulldogs are going for it. The ball at the 38-yard line. Oops! Paul Sheehan, the offensive tackle, jumped again, and that's going to take them out of a possible situation where they could make it. And right away, Steve Kraigseth, the punter, is on the field. So another mental miscue proves costly.
Well, I just mentioned earlier about the things you have to keep in mind if you're going to run the ball. Number one, you have to make sure that you get big yardage on first down. Number two, you can't make mistakes, especially 4th and short.
Get ball foul. Offense, false start.
Right now, UMD is not playing like a championship caliber football team. A lot of mental mistakes, and they are going to kill you. And Jim Molaski has no time for them.
What about a fake?
I'd be up for a fake, except now they have a man in the middle covering the fake, and their outside is not going to be a full rush.
Kraigseth, time, end-over-end kick. And it's going to die at about the 15-yard line, 14-yard line, where the Bulldogs finally down it. It was touched by the Bulldogs at about the 14, I believe.
We didn't get much of a roll out of that either. One thing that a lot of people don't realize is when the ball is being kicked like that, if it's touched and still rolling by an offensive player, the defensive player can pick it up and run with it. Even if he loses yardage or he fumbles the ball, you still have your option of taking the ball with his first touch. So a lot of high school kids don't understand that. We always tell them jump on the ball and run for your life. If you want to take a gamble, that's the time to do it.
1st and 10 at the 12 for the Cougars. They lead it 17-7, 14:50 left to go in this game. They are backed up deep in their own territory, but a guy like Dale Mayer can bring them out in a hurry. Crucial defensive stand here for the Bulldogs. Mayer back to pass. He throws right. He's got Cockman. Cockman up to about the 18-yard line.
Well, I'll tell you, you want to talk about gutsy pass. He just passed deep in his own territory, all the way across the field on a short slant-in pattern. Now, that's the confidence you're talking about, communication between receiver and quarterback. I mean, that's not only gutsy, that's not cocky, that's confident. You know you can do the job, because then it's picked off. That's 7 for sure.
He gained 7 on the play, 2nd down and 3. And that all-important first down when you can get that kind of yardage. It really helps. Hickman gets the call, but he is wearing a Craig Potoshnik flak jacket because Potoshnik came on the blitz and met him right when he got the ball. Big play by the linebacker out of Baiwabe.
Well, I think that time he had one of his outside loops on. They know he's been stunning up the gut. That time I think he looped to the outside. Here we have it right here. Loops to the outside and boom, right there. And it was almost a clip that time. He still didn't get him.
So Potoshnik, after trying so many times, finally got through on the blitz and made something happen. A loss of about 6 on the play, 3rd down and 9. Mayer better get rid of it. Oh, and he's going down. Looked like he was going to get away, but he couldn't get away from Steve Peterson, and there's that strong safety blitz we were talking about.
As we mentioned before, you're taking a gamble, but at this point in the game, you're going to have to make sure you take quite a few gambles, and Potoshnik got up kind of slow that time. He's had a hard afternoon. I mean, you have a linebacker blitzing every time. You're bound to be tired. He got up pretty slow that time, and he's walking quite gingerly off the field.
Well, Ross is going to be standing halfway through the end zone for this punt. There's a look at the 3rd quarter statistics. UMD still leading in rushing, but the passing yardage, a big difference there. And Minnesota Morris, of course, leading on the scoreboard. A good kick away by Ross. Beach takes it at his own 47. Over the 50 and down to the 47-yard line of Minnesota Morris. The Bulldogs, though, can't ask for much better. Very good field position to start a drive.
I think it's a great chance for UMD, and I would look for this this series. If they're going to pass, they're going to drop straight back. Why roll into the face of a defense? And it's going to give them a little bit more time, too.
Now, they're going to have to score twice to tie or win this football game, so they better do one of them pretty quick. 1st and 10 from the 47. The Bulldogs continue to go with that double tight end formation. Molaski taking it himself. Molaski down inside the 45 to about the 43. So Jim Molaski Jr. gains about 4 on first down.
Design play.
Oh, absolutely. That's a design play. That was a keeper all the way. He just knows that he thinks he can get some as his father's shouting instructions there, or probably the play. That's the thing when you have double tight ends too. He's going to have to be yelling the plays in because you aren't going to be shifting too many people in and out of there. Nice halftime show too by both you boys. Steve and Eric, I enjoyed both those halftime shows.
Second down and a long 5. Molosky's taking it himself again. He's got good yardage. He's going to have a first down. Jim Molosky says, hey, nothing else is working. I'm going to take matters into my own hands.
The last time I think I saw an offenses like this was back when I was playing at UMD. What he did is he'd have Terry Igadell and he'd move him back to quarterback. He'd run the same type of series. He'd say, well, I've got a great running back, but nobody's opening in the holes, so I'll put him at quarterback and he can pick the holes he wants and pick the play he wants. And that's basically what he's doing here.
Well, he's a rugged enough guy where he can run the football and really not stand the risk of getting injured. The important thing is it's first down and 10 at the 37. This time he hands off to Lowy, the fullback. Lowy inside the 35 down to about the 32, and things are starting to click a little more now.
Well, they are, Steve, and I think the thing that's important, 11:36, if they get close, they're going to do one of two things. If they get close and they're let's say 4th and 5 and they're deep in the territory, they might go for that field goal, hope they can get the ball back. If they get real close, you can bet they're going to go for it.
The ball is at the 32-yard line, second down and 6. Play action fake. Molosky doesn't have time. He's going to run it himself. He got a couple of nice blocks. Molosky showing some good open field running down to the 25. Could be a first down.
Well, I think they're going to have the first down. It's going to be off close. There we have the first down. There's nothing wrong with the quarterback running. I thought maybe the receiver was open to begin with, but there's nothing wrong as long as he tucks the ball away. And as you see right here, goes back for the pass. Play action pass, looks, nobody around. He's going to take a run, but look where that ball is. The ball is kind of out on the side there. He tucked it away at the last minute, but you don't need a fumble at this time.
First and 10 at the 25. Veach in motion. Handoff to Lowy. Lowy, a couple of yards, and that's all. Shapersky, number 51. We've seen him there all day. He's been one very active linebacker, along with a host of others on the play.
I think one thing Morris is doing, too, is their linebackers are active on the run, but they really haven't been too active on the pass. I might look for sending a strong or a tight end across the middle, keep those linebackers busy because they're not doing a heck of a lot. They have to watch the play action, but that's basically it. They haven't had any pass responsibility today.
They must have scouted the Bulldogs very well because that short tight end pass has worked so well in the past. Molosky, play action fake, rolling left. This time he is going to throw. He's got his man. Neil Krause inside the 5. He bobbled it and hung on.
What a catch!
Well, I thought for a minute there he's going to drop it. We were going to say, oh, boy, that was something. Neil Krause out of Minnetonka. Beautiful play. He bobbled it a little bit, but he hung on to it. Here you see right here, little play action again, but it's actually a bare naked play action. It throws it out to Bobble, and he tucks it in, and now it's just a nice play. We've got a injured player on the field. I can't see the number, but it's a Morris player. Pretty slow to get up.
One of the big guys, number 79, that's Mike Mentry, who's been all over the place on defense, but he doesn't look to be very good right now. We're going to take this opportunity to pause. We'll be back in just a moment.
Mike Mentry, number 79.
In attorney Doug Kelly's other life, Everest is the top. And the hours preparing here in Minnesota are matched by hours studying snow varieties, translations of the Chinese attempts, even Tibet's political climate. Every winning strategy relies on information. That's why we're your first bank for financial information. Because it's people with information who are coming in first.
Coming in first.
Stop there, Houston! The ship's gonna crash!
Mr. Snark, you've landed.
Hello, Bob.
Welcome back to Rent-A-Center. Let me show you some of our new furniture.
Rental furniture. Probably old, probably fall apart, probably everything in shades of puce.
Look at this new furniture. It's good, the kind you'll be proud to own. And we guarantee satisfaction and we'll give you your money back.
Ah.
This is one of our fine Basset couches.
Not bad. You have anything in German Shepherd? Well, furry, but I mean, it'd be better if it were furry.
Rent-A-Center. We're not happy until you are.
Well, Mike Mentry, the injured Cougar on the play, has been carried off the field. Things do not look too good on the near sidelines. There you get a look at him as they administer to the ankle or knee. But he had to be assisted off the field. So the senior from Hermantown, Wisconsin is out of the game. But more important, the Bulldogs have the ball first and goal inside the 5 at about the 3. Handoff, touchdown. Molaski took it himself, went in untouched.
Well, that's kind of just like a quarterback option. You have the option to give that first guy, or you can tuck it in yourself and go. And they really went in for that first fake, and Molaski just took it in themselves. We've got a whole new ball game. Here's a fake right there, wide open hole. Nice fake, too. Jeez, I would have gone for that one. Whole new ball game right here, but this is a big extra point. They have to make sure they get this one, which would enable them at least to get in a position, if they get the ball back, if they can stop them on defense, to go for a tie or a win.
A testimony of Jim Molaski's running ability. He has only averaged 1.8 yards per carry, but he has scored 7 touchdowns now with this last 2-yard dive. Going for 2. Gutsy decision. Molaski fumbles the football. It does not work. So, a gutsy call by Jim Molaski may have backfired. Instead of going for the easy chip shot, extra point to pull them within a field goal, the 2-point conversion fails. They trail 17-14, and we'll be back in just a moment.
In attorney Doug Kelly's other life, Everest is the top. And the hours preparing here in Minnesota are matched by hours studying snow varieties, translations of the Chinese attempts, even Tibet's political climate. Every winning strategy relies on information. That's why we're your first bank for financial information, because it's people with information who are coming in first.
Coming in first.
Well, Bud Grant has been questioned for his play calling deep in territory the last couple of weeks. Jim Molaski decides to not go for the extra point and go for 2. It fails, and as a result, his Bulldogs trail 17-14 with 9:47 left to go, so a field goal cannot tie this football game up.
Well, I think the philosophy that he was going with is if he gets these 2 points at 17-15, a field goal will win it. Then there's the other side of the coin, and well, if you don't get it, you're not going to tie with a field goal now. So it's tough to win when you're a coach.
Well, nonetheless, they did score, and there's still a lot of time left in this football game. Holston's kick is going to be taken by Feeblecorn. Feeblecorn up to the 25, near the 30-yard line. And that's where the Cougars will have it 1st and 10. And the UMD defense has had a lot of time to rest on the sidelines, courtesy of that long drive by the Bulldog offense.
They sure have, and that's consequently the Morris defense has been out there a long time. So if they can hold them here, get that Morris defense back out there, maybe they can make things click again. And as we said, Jim didn't push the panic button. He got right back in the ball game the way he knows how, and that's by the run. Now they have to hold him here, which is a big chore.
Dale Mayer has passed for over 200 yards in this one. He's averaging over 360. Back to pass, full blitz on, and he's going down. Peterson.
We talk about big plays. Well, they didn't exactly get a turnover there, but that was as big a play they had in the second half, coming at a very nice time for the Bulldog defense. Full blitz, and they take Mayer down.
Toshnik was there, but Steve Peterson made the shoestring tackle, and that is a huge loss.
Here we have it right here, and everybody was coming in. Nice tackle that time, and you're right, Steve, that was a big loss. Now UMD's defense is clicking. Now Morris is in a situation saying, hey, not only do we have to make sure that we don't give up the ball, we have to make sure we don't give up the ball on a fumble or an interception or anything like that deep in our own territory, which you can expect them to pass.
2nd down and 20. Kalkman going in motion. Blitz is on again. They pick it up. Passes away, nobody there. Phil Peichel was the nearest man to the football, and he almost had a diving interception.
Broken pattern that time. We just were talking about some good communication. That time was a broken pattern. This is going to be a big down. We've got 3rd down and a ton. What you want to make sure you do is you want to keep them in front of you and make sure you don't give them that 1st down. Second of all, what you want to make sure you do, while you're keeping them in front of them, don't give them that extra 5-10 yards so that it enables them to get better field position.
You know, that loss really looms to be big for a number of reasons, and one of them is that they're 10 yards farther back now. If they have an incomplete pass, they're really deep in their territory punting, and the Bulldogs have excellent field position barring a fumble. Minnesota Morris very confused and frustrated. They have called timeout. They want to talk about it, and we're going to take a 30-second timeout. We'll be back in just a moment.
St. Germain's Glass and Paint now has 2 locations to serve you better, downtown
and also at the Village Mall. St. Germain's carries the complete line of Lucite exterior house and trim paint and all Lucite flat interior finishes and interior enamels. Talk to the experts at St. Germain's Glass and Paint about Lucite. Use Lucite this time, and next time will probably be a longer time coming.
There's a look at the brain trust. Jim Molosky surrounded by his entire defensive unit. A 3rd down and 20 situation, staring the Cougars in the face. They are deep in their own territory. They lead the football game 17-14, but if the Bulldogs can hold them here, they will have a good 8 minutes and 49 seconds with which to negotiate a drive of their own.
I don't think you're going to see a blitz this time. I may be wrong, but he may send Potachnik on a loop, but I don't think you're going to see a blitz by any of the free safety or strong safety this time, because they're going to have their hands full covering everybody, and if you let those players out in the open with a lot of time, you're dead.
Hoffman going in motion. Mayer, the blitz is on again. Peterson, he picked up. This time Mayer gets away. Mayer running for his life, and he goes down. Mark Turcotte.
Like I said, I think they're going to blitz this time.
I'll tell you
fool me once, fool you. Fool me twice, still fool you.
I'll tell you, the blitz has been working at least now. They blitzed everybody that time.
Did you guys see Steve Peterson with a little half gainer there, Mary Lou Retton imitation? He got picked up big time, but they did blitz indeed.
Mayer picked up about 3 or 4 yards, but it's going to be 4th down and a whole bunch. And Ross is standing at his own 7-yard line ready to punt. Corey Veach back deep to receive. Kick is away. Hangs up there pretty nice. Veach takes it on the run at the 40, up to midfield. So the Bulldogs will have the ball just over midfield with 7:58 left to go in this one, trailing by 4.
Well, we've got a ball game here. All UMD has to do is punch it across the line. They've got plenty of time. And as we said, in order to do that, as we see on the sidelines...
That's Doug Tigner, the defensive end. He was pulled out of the game earlier. The word on him is that he has broken his wrist, and he will not play anymore today.
Oh.
1st and 10 for the Dogs. The ball just over midfield. Molosky, quarterback sneak, 5-yard gain.
You know, all of a sudden, Coach Jim Molosky's decision to go for 2 there, not looking, sneaking out quite as often here. He's coached for 28 years. He obviously knows what he's doing, and maybe this is what he had planned on all the time.
Well, the only thing is now when you know you're going for a score, you're in 4-down territory right now, which is really tough for defense. You think you hold them on 3 downs. Well, hold them on 4 downs is even more tough.
2nd down and 5. Rango in motion. Molosky, handoff to Lowy. Lowy, big hole. Lowy down inside the 35.
And now the fans here at Griggs Field on a beautiful Saturday afternoon get into the ball game.
Well, that was just a nice play too. And the thing is, they're going with a little bit more of an option, you see right here, because now their linebackers have to look for the inside there. Now he's coming to the outside. Nice play.
1st and 10 for the Bulldogs inside the 35-yard line. Plenty of time, over 7 minutes to go. Lowy once again. Lowy gets by 1 tackle inside the 30. Another gain of 5 on 1st down.
And now if you pick up 3 on your 1st down, you've got 3 chances of 4. That's 12 yards. You'll never have to punt. Now, the thing that you want to make sure you do is you don't F-U-M-B-L-E the ball, because if that happens, then it really takes the air out of your sails.
Well, we've talked about Mo Molosky, the head coach. Another Mo in definite contention right now. That's momentum. Lowy once again. This time he struggles for a couple, but it's going to set up a 3rd down and short situation.
Well, what I might look for this time is a little bit of a cross-buck action. They're really going with that flow, a little bit of cross-buck action, going to the backside. You don't want to have a reverse in this situation, because if you don't get it or they smell it out, then your loss is going to be like 7-8 yards. A little short slant cross-buck is going to get you about, at the worst, about a 2-yard loss. We'll have to see if he goes with that. Probably just a straight dive, too.
3rd and 3. Molosky, more than enough for the 1st down. He's got it. down to about the 23-yard line.
Well, keeper's really been a bread and butter for
It
you.
really has, and Leon Banks has done a great job. Lasky's a big guy, but you have to credit that line with Leon Banks, and also Jeff Johnson's back in the ballgame. He's been in there for a while. He's gutting it out. I'm sure he still has an injury.
There's a look at Jim Lind on the sidelines. He is definitely concerned. He has seen momentum shift drastically here in the fourth quarter. Now UMD has called timeout. The entire team will go to the sidelines to chat with Jim Molaski. And I'll tell you, both teams are going to come to the sidelines.
We take a look at some of the linemen, Sheehan, Donnell, Banks, Roth. They've done a great job with Dale, or Dolly. And we'll be back after this short pause with UMD trailing 13-17.
In the Northland, people make life more interesting for their friends and community. People with a special outlook on life, a different way of doing things, or a remarkable story.
As old as he is. Yeah, but better looking.
These interesting people are known by thousands because we share their stories with you every day.
Mr. Charlie, who's always been a hero.
The News Tribune and Herald, the Northland's newspaper.
Well, that tells the story. 17-13. Minnesota Morris leads on the scoreboard, but UMD has momentum in their favor. They have the football with 5:47 left to go, and they have the ball 1st and 10 at the Minnesota Morris Cougar 23-yard line.
And that's a ton of time too. And if you're going to give, if you're going to score, and that's a long way away, if you're going to score, you want to make sure you chew up as much clock as possible because you don't want to have Morris get the ball with any time left.
Corey Veach coming in motion. Molaski, he's rolling out. He wants to throw. He's got him wide open down the sidelines. John Doley. John Doley, touchdown!
Now you want to talk about gutsy calls, sports fans. You got it right there. That was a tremendous call. They realized everyone was going to play action passes. He just rolls out to the right, throws all the way across, goes all the way across back to the left. Wide open, John Doley. Here it is right here. Takes a look, nice look off, throws it all the way across. Gets the ball, Doley, and he's into the end zone. That's got to be one of his best scores of all time. Now, I think what you're going to see right here is UMD is going to take a timeout because they're going to go for 2. They go for 2 now instead of being up by 20-17.
Put it out
they'd
of
be
reach
up by
for a field goal.
21-17.
Correct.
Right.
Big key in the play there, I thought, going back to the touchdown play by Jim Molaski Jr. was he even looked right there, which really proved a lot of composure. He looked right, everybody going that way. Doley just delaying out of the backfield, and he gets a Z pattern right to the end zone.
I don't know, they might have had to break open the cobwebs in the playbook, maybe the archives for that one, but I'll tell you, it sure came at a dandy time. Now this is going to be a very big play. As you mentioned, if they get the 2-point conversion, they lead by 4. A field goal cannot win it or tie it. But by the same token, if they do not get it, they only lead by 2, and a field goal could beat them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And more in coaching, what you see now is people go for wins. And I'm sure he's going to go for 2 points. And it's just a matter of play selection. We were talking about Bud Grant's plays a couple of weeks ago, and I don't think anybody questioned that he wanted to win the ball game. Maybe the play selection. You got your smallest back going to the biggest area, but you can bet Molaski's going to go for this. He figures, well, I've got one of the 4th best defense in the nation in the NC2A Division II. So if they can't stop them, then we maybe don't deserve to win.
The ball is at the 3. If they convert, it'll be 2 points. Molaski, play action fake. He throws into the end zone. Incomplete. So we'll see if it hurts. At any rate, the score is 19-17 with an injured Bulldog on the field.
It's Lowy.
That's Mike Lowy, the fullback out of Hibbing, who has had himself a pretty good second half here. Doc Roach out there administering to him, and it does not look good. But Jim Molaski, a gutsy call, went for 2, came up short, and the Bulldogs lead by 2.
Well, I think that's a play that they scored a very important extra point on down in Marshall a couple weeks ago, where they fake dive Veach up the middle and the tight end just delays a little bit. That didn't quite pan out like they wanted him to there.
You can see Doc Roach working on the left ankle.
I think Molaski was upset because he thought that somebody ran the wrong pattern there too. You could see him checking out on the sidelines. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting finish to an interesting game. They're 5:40. That's plenty of time. Now the only thing is what you're going to look at for Morris to do is I think they're going to air it out even more. They won't be going for those little dink passes on the sides. They're going to go for long ones.
And Lowy's okay. A little bit of a limp there, but he runs off under his own power, and that's a good sign.
I kind of wonder if something didn't pop out there. If he's running on it again. If it was twisted, I don't think he'd be running on it like that.
Twist, pull. I'll tell you, he didn't break his leg. It's not a spiral fracture of the distal fibula.
Yeah, what he says.
Yes. I'll tell you what, though, the Bulldogs did come from behind in this quarter, and that was a good point, if anything. Whatever happens, they did come from behind, and it's, you know, you hear it a lot, but it's a confidence booster.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of fans out there saying, throw the ball, and we'll ask you, what do you think you are? What do you think you're doing? And he's heard it before, and he'll hear it again, but he's got him back in the ball game.
Holston, knuckleball kick. It's taken there at the 25, and out of bounds at about the 33. Number 85, Paul Gonnerman, backup tight end out of Clara City, got it. So the Cougars come out with a chance to put some points on the board, and there you see the scoring by quarters. The Bulldogs with that all-important 12 points in the fourth quarter compared to none for Minnesota Morris, and therefore lead by 2, 19-17. But I'll tell you, Minnesota Morris has a whole heck of a lot of time left to negotiate. 5:36 to go, and Dale Mayer can make things happen. 1st and 10 at the 32. Mayer, blitz is on, he gets it away, incomplete. I'll tell you one thing, Dale Mayer did everything under his own power just to stay on his feet.
Oh, he sure did. I mean, what UMD is doing a great job of, their linebackers are blitzing, but they're picking their spots. In other words, they're lining up on the right-hand side, they'll loop to the left, but the down linemen, the down defensive linemen are creating the holes. In other words, if I slant to my left, that down right lineman has to pick me up, and I'll loop in behind him. And that's why Potocnik got in there. And you send out 5 receivers, you know you're not going to have enough people to stay in the block.
I tell you that front 5 up front for Minnesota Morris on the offensive line, got to be wondering what's coming next. 2nd down and 10. Blitz is on again. Mayer gets it out. He has his man. Basil Meyer. A short gain up over the 35, a gain of about 5.
And I think what you're going to see this time is a little out and up pattern. You're going to see a Z pattern. You're going to see somebody slant in. They're going to go to the sidelines, and they're going to fly because. And I think what they're going to do is make sure they keep enough people to block and try and get one guy one-on-one and see if he can beat him, because he's obviously not getting enough time when he sends everybody out. And I think UMD is going to have to watch for a deep pattern this time. I may be wrong, but that's what I do.
3rd down and 5. The UMD defense has been awesome in the fourth quarter. Blitz is on again. Blitz is on, he gets it away, incomplete! Hoffman dropped it. When things go wrong, they go wrong. He had it right in the breadbasket and couldn't hang on.
I think he was checking the sidelines to see if he had the first down before he caught the ball. It was a nice ball thrown right in there. He took his eyes off the ball a little bit to check around him and dropped the football. This is a big down right here. This may not be the game, but it's about as close as you're going to get.
4th down and 5.
You won't see any patterns that'll be under 5 yards this time.
First place in the Northern Intercollegiate Conference may be on the line on this play. Hoffman going in motion. Mayer has it. Hoffman catches it, hangs on, slips away. First down at the 47. Well, the man redeemed himself.
He certainly did. He stayed in there under an awful lot of pressure. UMD let him off the hook here. They still haven't given up the ball game yet, but he stayed in there in a ton of pressure. And here's the replay back here. Throws it right out there. Boom, nice pass. Keeps going. They're in UMD territory at about the 48-yard line.
There's one nervous head coach, Jim Lynn, facing the sidelines. 1st and 10 at the Bulldog 47. 4:24 left to go. Handoff goes to Hickman. Hickman's got a lot of blocking. Hickman spins away down near the 30-yard line.
As we mentioned earlier, if you're gaming and monkeying around with the inside linebackers, what happens sometimes is if you can get to the outside, you're going to get yourself some big yardage. And that's exactly what they did on this play. He rolls up to the outside, Hickman hurdles somebody and gets some big yardage to the outside. You're taking a lot of gambles on the inside. It's been effective so far, but you have to realize that outside game is on the outside flat area is going to be wide open for a run.
at the 31, 1st and 10. 4 minutes even left to go. Blitz is on again. Mayer over the middle, overthrows Huber. 2nd down and 10. The clock stopped with 3:56 left to go. Now, a real good sign of what a defense can do. Can you bend and not break?
And these patterns are very, very difficult to cover, too, because they're doing quick end slants and everything else.
Once again, a special thanks to Zenith Roofing and Sheet Metal for providing the boom truck. Our cameraman, Bruce Lane, up there. I tell you, it's been awfully cold the last 2 games, but a little bit warmer for him this afternoon. Blitz is on. They pick it up. Kalkman can't hang on. Mayer had Kalkman. Wouldn't have gained much on the play had he caught it, but Scheidak was right there with him.
We got Tom Raps is down on the field. I don't know what it is, but it looks like he's shaking up quite a bit.
Tom Raps out of Washburn, Wisconsin, the big senior. Been one of the real mainstays in that front 4 for the past couple of years.
That gives you an indication of the hard hitting in this game. We've had quite a few players going down, and Mentry is out for Morris. You've got Raps who's down. You've got Johnson who's been in and out. You've got Potachnik who had a couple of hard licks on him. And
well, Raps is up. He's all right. I think he just got his bell rung a little bit. He'll come out for 1 play. I guarantee you he'll be back there if he can.
You know, Morris is going to have to concentrate here. They had a big play a couple plays ago, but then now they've sputtered a little bit. And, you know, the kicker, John Vra, he is not exactly in textbook field goal range right now. So they're going to have to really execute here and bear down.
Scott Kincannon, number 87, in to replace Raps at left defensive end. 3rd down and 10. Mayer retreating for his life. Peterson has him.
you want to talk about one of the big plays of the game. He just made it right there. He's been blitzing all day long. He picked a nice hole, came through, and there's no way that Mayer was going to get out of that one. He figured that Mayer was going to roll out that time because he knew that Raps was gone, the big guy who has been in his face most of the day, rolled out, and there's Peterson right there on that play.
I'll tell you, Steve Peterson is the best athlete on the team. Jim Molosky knows it. He started the year as a starting fullback, but when things got tight in the defense, they brought him back to strong safety. There you see the clock, the big factor, 3:15 and counting. And more important, Minnesota Morris is now way out of field goal range, and they have a 4th down and about 20 facing them.
And here's another big down. Now, last time they let him off the hook, he had a big play. Let's see what UMD can come up with this time.
Penalty flag flies.
Too much time.
Another 5 yards. I'll tell you, Minnesota Morris has got a long, long way to go.
And you want to talk about a classy team. I'll tell you what a classy team is. A classy team who is down 17-7 and doesn't panic and let things get away from them.
Get ball foul, 5 yards, delay, offense.
And that's exactly what you're seeing is happening to Morris. They're kind of losing their composure. They're getting a little bit rattled here. UMD was down 17-7, if you remember, 1 point, and UMD just stayed with what they had. Although they didn't score in the 3rd quarter, they stuck with what went best for them. They got themselves not only back in the ball game, now they have a chance, probably if they hold them here, to win the ball game on 1 play. That's a classy ball club.
Well, this team can pass you to death, but even the best teams in the world are going to have a lot of hard trouble making 26, 27 yards in 1 play. That's what they need. Blitz is on. Mayer is in for him. He goes down and look at the sidelines. Potashnik, Peterson, Turcotte. An absolute jubilation on the Bulldog sidelines.
Well, I look back, and instead of counting the people that were rushing, I counted the people that were back. There was about 4, maybe 5 people in defensive backfield. They're coming back, shaking their heads. Here you have it right here, and here comes everybody and their grandma, sister-in-law's father around the corner. Boom, here they are, and they're down. And the guys are coming out from Morris, and they're shaking their heads. What do you expect us to do? They blitzed everybody, and that's exactly right. You can't pick up everybody. You send about 5 guys out on the pattern. There's absolutely no way.
And they didn't even try to hide it. They didn't even fake it. They come right at them. They say, we're going to blitz you. You're going to burn us.
Oh, you knew that. And the thing I might have looked at is I thought maybe they have a little swing pass over the middle, a little dump pass, because he's rolling right into pressure. But there again, UMD's defense just been tremendous. And there's an injury on the field. We can't see who it is. It's the quarterback. Mayer is down. It's the quarterback for Morris, and that would loom big if he is injured for any more than the length of this game or into next week, because he's a tremendous football player.
I'll tell you one thing, Dale Mayer, it's a wonder he hasn't been injured. He's been on his back almost consistently here in the 4th quarter. and he's not been hit by just one guy. He's been in freight train by 2 or 3 people.
It reminds me of when the Washington Redskins were playing against St. Louis Cardinals.
A couple weeks ago.
Yeah, he had a rough game.
Well, while Dale Mayer lays on the carpet, we're going to take time out. We'll be back in just a moment.
That skies about ready to open up in a downpour. Now, ordinarily, that rain wouldn't be a threat, but this roof leaks. That means thousands of dollars worth of damage if left unrepaired. Fortunately, Zenith Roofing and Sheet Metal was called in time. Whether it's roof repair or roof replacement, Zenith Roofing can solve your roofing problems, from neighborhood schools, industrial and commercial businesses, to the equally important smaller projects. For your sheet metal, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, and roofing needs, call Zenith Roofing and Sheet Metal.
Well, Dale Mayer came off the field under his own power. We're glad to see that, but he is shaking his head. He saw a few stars, but I think more than anything, he is just disappointed that his football team is probably not going to win and will fall to 3-1 in the NIC. The Bulldogs have the ball, 2:55 left to go, and ball control is the key here. Malaski, handoff goes to Dolny. Dolny, racked up by Shapersky after a gain of a couple on the play. There's Mayer. He's going to practice throwing the football a little bit. You see him there favoring his right arm and shoulder.
Well, if he gets it, he's not going to have too much time to do anything with it. And plus, in the kind of shape he's in, I don't know if he might be better off putting somebody else in there, because it doesn't really look good here, for Morris anyway.
Well, the loser of this football game isn't necessarily out of the woods yet either. Certainly, UMD has to win 2 more games to clinch it outright, if indeed they hang on to win. Dolny cracks a big hole, gains about 5 on the play. It'll be 3rd down and about 2 on the play.
Morris called another timeout. There's John Dolny from Burnsville, Minnesota.
One of the more sure-handed backs, who I'm sure is an obvious reason who's feeling the ball right now. Sophomore out of Burnsville.
Well, this is where I really wouldn't envy the backs in a situation like this. What Morris does, the first guy gets there, stands him up, and the second guy goes for the ball, and the third guy pops him. That's not exactly a good situation to be a running back.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
There's the clock, 2:12 remaining. 3rd down and 2. I think if the Bulldogs can get the 1st down on this next play, it's pretty much over.
As you were mentioning, that the loser of this game isn't necessarily out of the woods, because that final game is going to be important.
Here's a look at what the Bulldogs got facing them left. They will go to Northern State in Aberdeen, South Dakota, a team that has troubles this year. But I'll tell you, we were there 2 years ago when Northern upset the Bulldogs 10-8. And of course, we will close out the regular campaign here 2 weeks from today, right here on WDIO WIRT against Bemidji State. And of course, Minnesota Morris will be showcased once again against the Bulldogs in that Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome Classic, which has become a tradition here. Big play right here, 3rd down and 2. If the Dogs can get it, victory is just about assuredly theirs. Corey Veach has it, 1st down. He goes off left guard and gains 5.
Well, I hate to say it, to claim an old cliche, but you can pretty much turn out the lights, the party's over. But what a ball game.
Sing, okay?
Yeah, you wouldn't want me to sing. But what a day for football, and just fantastic conditions. 2 years ago when Morris came here, it was UMD blew them out. It was muddy and mucky and freezing cold. Today is a beautiful sunshiny day and excellent field conditions, and UMD still came out to win it.
1st and 10 at the 25, 1:52 and counting left to go in this one. Malaski's going to take it himself. Malaski slips away from one tackle down inside the 20.
He's working on his rushing yardage. He knows that 1.8 is not going to get him by some of those big scouts. Wants to pick up a couple more, although that is some statistic that you mentioned. What was it?
7 touchdowns rushing.
7 touchdowns rushing with only a 1.8 average in yards per carry.
And of course, that statistic is a bit deceiving because quarterback sacks count as negative yardage for rushing.
Right.
There you see the clock, 1:17 and counting. The Bulldogs taking their own sweet time in that huddle. Veach in motion. Whistles and a penalty flag, and I think the Bulldogs took their own sweet time a little too long here. That'll stop the clock with 1:06. But I think the issue has pretty much been settled, and I'll tell you, one heck of a 4th quarter by that UMD defensive unit.
It certainly was, and it was just like you mentioned, it's like they were waiting for the...
Dead ball foul. offense.
Third quarter to get over.
Same down.
Once again, a special thanks to the Lester Park Golf Course for the use of their golf cart vehicle, which has given you some good sideline shots throughout the afternoon.
There was a poll that was taken. I don't know if you read about the poll, but the top 3 broadcasters with a blonde color person over 250 pounds, we rated number 1.
Second down and 8. Malosky. Little delay handoff goes to Rengo. Rengo back to about the 20-yard line. And Minnesota Morris is going to call their third and final timeout. And there you see some of the dejection on the sidelines. It's been a long afternoon, but it was a good effort by both football teams.
I think that poll was inaccurate, though. I think they had its weight wrong.
That's right, because I've lost.
Well, they've shaded him a little too low there. That's the inaccuracy of those polls.
Wait a minute. I can run fullback at any time. If Perry can run for the Bears, I can run for anyone.
Got to come up with a nickname, though. He's got the refrigerator. We got the ice box with Tim Newton. What are we going to call you?
I like the garbage can on wheels would be nice. I've always liked that. It's kind of a classic.
The sanitary man.
The garbologist on wheels. But you mentioned about some good football. Coming down the last game, if Morris, you know, obviously one would think that they'd win next week and UMD would win the next week. If they can do something with Moorhead and UMD slips up with Bemidji, they might be right back up there again.
You never want to be in a position where you have to count on somebody else to do the dirty work for you, but I'll tell you, UMD is right where they wanted to be. They control their own destiny.
And who'd have thunk it after seeing that one game we saw in our opener, the way they got manhandled by Northern Michigan? Who'd have thunk it?
Third down and 6. Malosky hands off to Veach. Veach bounces away from one tackle. Pretty good yardage. He's going to be close to a first down. And on 4th down and 50 seconds left to go, Minnesota Morris cannot stop the clock. Be interesting to see if UMD decides to run another play here and get that first down. They only need a yard. If they miss, Morris has maybe 10 seconds with which to try and do something. That's indeed what they're going to do. You see it, 30 seconds and counting. Jim Malosky Jr. taking his time. And he's going to take it himself. First down, and that is the ball game, folks.
You better believe it.
They will not have to run off another play. They'll move the chains and start the clock, and UMD will go to 4-0 in the Northern Intercollegiate Conference.
Just a tremendous comeback by a team who started out very, very strong in the first quarter, then kind of have a little lull in between, and then just came on from 17-7 deficit, coming back winning 19-17.
Remember, the Bulldogs are first out for home season.
That's going to be it. UMD with a heck of a fourth quarter comeback wins this one 19-17. They will go to 4-0 in the conference. Minnesota Morris drops to 3-1. That is the final, and we will be back with more in just a moment.
What's black and white and red all over? We'll show you. This new Toshiba copier makes crisp, clear, edge-to-edge copies. But with just one touch, it changes color to make crisp, clear, edge-to-edge copies in red, or blue, or brown. Toshiba's Chroma Touch copier, the copier that changes color. Presto, changeo. And that's big news.
Available at Collier Business Equipment in Duluth and Mesabi Office Equipment in Hibbing.
Exhaust problems? Well, come out from under there and head to the Muffler Clinic with 2 convenient locations. The Muffler Clinic can tackle just about any exhaust job you throw at them, and you're not stranded while your car is being worked on. At Muffler Clinic 2, stop by the Miller Hill or Village Malls. Both are just a few steps away. And the original Muffler Clinic downtown is close to the Holiday Mall and the Skywalk system. When you need your exhaust system fixed, do it right at the Muffler Clinic downtown and Muffler Clinic 2 just behind Ponderosa between the Village and the Miller Hill Mall.
The full-sized Ford LTD Crown Victoria. At Ford, we haven't forgotten the family. Visit your hometown Northland Ford dealer soon.
A guy with a
Well, UMD is only 2 victories away from an undefeated conference championship, and I'll tell you guys, it was a heck of a football game here this afternoon.
It certainly was, and what UMD, that was crucial that they didn't do is they didn't push the panic button. They were down 17-7, and instead of just going to the air, which is not their ball game, they went right to the ground, stayed with it, and just a fantastic ball game.
Showed a great amount of character coming back from behind. Typically not a come from behind team. It was a great confidence.